Hey, what's going on? Keith here from Sports Vibes TV, and today we're going to be talking about a little bit of a news update provided by our own Ian Bagley, joined by my guy Inf. Inf, how's everything with you, bro?
You know, it's a day of Knicks basketball, so it's always a good day.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about one of your favorite players to start off, but we're also gonna get into the Knicks versus Pistons game. Now, Inf, it's being reported that Mitchell Robinson is nearing contact, and he could be made available for our last preseason game against the Wizards this weekend. You excited? I know that's your favorite player, right?
Come on, man. I don't care if he sit the whole season. I
Here
mean,
we go with the extraness.
the only reason why I'm looking forward to it is just so that all these Mitch fans could like realize that this man is dirt. Like, what? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, he's
Dirt
gonna
is a reach, Inf.
he's gonna come back, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, Mitch this, Mitch that, and then he's gonna play terrible, and we're gonna be like, oh well, he's coming back off injury, so we got to give him a break. And come on, man.
Inf, let's keep it simple. Last time we saw Mitchell Robinson on the court, he had a double double in the first half. So I don't know about him being dirt, but I think if you look at the Knicks numbers when it comes to our offensive rebounding so far in the preseason, I think Mitch would definitely help out in that department, especially tonight going up against the Pistons. Pistons are a terrible team rebounding so far. Throughout there, I think they've played 2 games so far. And if we would have had Mitch out there, you would have seen he would have been able to feast both scoring in the paint, offensive rebounding, and just being a dominant force. But if I got the tweet up that's really sparked this live stream, it's going to be coming from Ian Bagley. He's saying Tom Thibodeau said, ideally, yes, when asked if Mitchell Robinson could play in the Knicks' next preseason game. Robinson's foot is close to being cleared for full contact. So he still hasn't been cleared for full contact. It'll be a quick turnaround to see him get cleared within the next couple days and then appear in the game this weekend against the Wizards.
No, yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna hold my breath for it. Like, he's probably gonna be available to start the season. Because like if he gets cleared for full contact on Friday, that
Mm-hmm.
like are they gonna practice Saturday and then he's gonna play? Like, is that too much for him? I don't know. I don't. I personally don't think that he's actually gonna play on our last game, but we'll see.
Well, the thing is Tibbs likes to leave little nuggets in the things that he says. So I think he probably is on a timetable to return. I think this is, if you looked at some of the reports throughout preseason earlier on, they're saying that they got good reports on Mitchell Robinson and his foot and the healing process. They were just moving him along slowly. So they're starting to ramp him up. And if he's coming back and he's not dealing with any kind of aggravating the injury or anything like that, then I think he could potentially show up in the game against Sunday. And I think he'll be able to prove a lot of doubters like yourself wrong.
Come on. First off, we're going against the Wizards, right?
Yep.
They dirt. Like, is he really gonna? Is he really like? Nah, I want to see him go against a genuine center, like not a beast. Like, I'm not saying go against Embiid or Jokic, but go against a solid center in the league, and then I'll be impressed.
Well, we'll see him go up against Al Horford, also Robert Williams to start the season October 20th.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we'll
uh,
see him in person. We'll see him live and
well,
direct.
if he's available, we're getting a little bit of ahead of ourselves. We're already acting like he'll be there to start game one.
And that's the thing. Like, if he is cleared to play, will he start? Do you think he'll get a starting position? Do you think he has to earn that after the way Noel's played and the money they just gave him?
That's an interesting question too, because we're bringing back Nerlens Noel, who we'll talk about a little bit later from an injury. So that's actually a good question. I don't know what the plans are. You'd think they'll want to bring him back slowly. The fact that they're ramping him up in preseason, I don't expect to see him go out there and get the bulk of the minutes. So yeah, maybe they might bring him back in off the bench to start. If I'm not mistaken, when he came back from the broken hand, I think he came off the bench initially and then got a few more, and then actually started the games before he got injured once again. Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's see.
Do
Got
you
a
know?
few people in the chat. Inf
Yeah. See.
Andrew saying, "Let's go Knicks."
Let's go.
Knicks 100 a game. Salute to you. Thank you for pulling up and supporting the live stream. He's asking tonight. No, Mitch isn't going to play tonight, but he is, or it seems like he could be on track to play this weekend against the Wizards. So hopefully he'll be able to show us something in preseason and give us a little bit something to look forward to this upcoming season, because it'll be a big season for him, right? If looking for a new contract, hopefully. I saw him in a Rangers jersey. George from Into the Knicks verse, he sent that to me. It looks like he's really committed to being a New Yorker, trying to get into the other fan bases. So I'd like to see him have a home here at New York, contrary to what you believe in.
I mean, honestly, I feel like after all that's happened with certain NBA players like Victor Oladipo and Dennis Schroeder and stuff, like losing the bag, I feel like players now are a bit more weary. So I feel like he's probably trying to play the part to hopefully get a big extension. That way he'll, have some sort of value. But all in all, I mean, regardless, this is a contract year for him. So I do think he's going to try to produce. It's just
he's gonna have to produce. He's gonna have to produce, because if things don't work out here, he's definitely gonna want to, entice other teams around the league to go out there and give him that kind of money. But hopefully, he's our long-term answer at center, because like I've been saying here on the live stream all summer, the versatility of Mitchell Robinson, he's able to give us a lot of the things that we're not able to get from Nerlens Noel in terms of his defensive range and being able to go out there on the perimeter and guard 1 through 5 and act on when called upon.
If you don't stop with his guard 1 through 5
nonsense, he can. I mean, he's not going to do it for long. I'm not going to say have him go out there and guard a point guard for extended periods. But if he's out there on a point guard, he'll do a serviceable job stopping penetration. And because of his length, he'll be able to contest outside jump shots as well. I'm telling you, if you're sleeping on our guy, Mitch.
All right. Look, I mean, well, we're going to see. We have all season. We have all season. And this ain't the same team that, he's used to playing on, because for the most part, he played a bulk of his games on the trash Knicks. Like, this is the good Knicks. This is like show up or sit down. So
yeah, there's no excuses this season outside of injury. He's gonna have a lot of players that can create for him, and hopefully we can see him expand his offensive game where he can knock down either a mid-range or the corner three. We've seen Taj Gibson shoot the corner three here in the preseason, hasn't had much success, but he's been shooting open looks. And as long as he's not out there chucking crazy threes and he's wide open and he shows the ability to knock them down, I'm fine with him expanding his game that way.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to see Nerlens Noel take a three. Like,
no, I mean, I really don't. I'm conflicted, bro.
You can't give an interview saying that you've been practicing threes and you got the green light to take them and not take them. Like,
I'm conflicted.
I'm expecting a Brook Lopez-esque transition in his offense.
That's asking a lot. What did we say? How good did Brook Lopez shoot the three last season? What was it? 33%?
Yeah, I mean
something around that. In that ballpark,
it's crazy, like, because he did it. He wasn't a 3-point shooter in any way, shape, or form, and then now this dude lethal.
Yeah. He showed that in the finals. He was a major contributor for that Bucks team.
Yeah.
Also, Knicks 100 a game is saying Inf, the man, the myth, and the legend.
We out here, man. We out here.
Whatever you pull up, it's a bash Mitch.
Where we either bashing Mitch or bashing Knox, but after last game, we alone.
I'm telling you, Knox is starting to prove you wrong. Mitch might do the same, bro.
Don't get out of pocket. Knox,
I'm getting ahead of myself.
A good game. Come on, don't do this.
We'll see. Muhammad said Mitch is gonna remind y'all. I hope so, because Inf must have forgotten. D. Bird saying Mitch will thrive with this group.
I mean, he got no choice because it's competition now. I mean, if Sims gets it together, listen, man.
Convert that contract, yeah. First Last is saying muscle making Mitch. He's trying to turn into money making Mitch with a good season. That Jared Allen contract is something that his agent is going to point to. I think he's going to fall in either that Jared Allen range if he goes out there and goes crazy this season, or he'll probably fall in the Robert Williams range, making anywhere from like 11 to 13 mil, which is definitely a big raise from what he's getting now.
Nah, but if he ends up demanding Jared Allen money, I honestly don't want him.
Yeah, Jared Allen money might be a little too steep for me. I'm not going.
I need mil.
Knicks 100 a game agrees with you. Winfrey saying Mitch is bum juice.
Thank you. He can't stay healthy. He's too flimsy. He's too, like, and then he got muscles up top now, but his legs are still toothpicks. Like I just can't. I can't.
If you're out of control. But we'll see. He put the muscle mass on. Hopefully, he'll be able to sustain a full season. When I say a full season, that means I hope he's available game one. And if not, if he can play, 72, 75 games, I'll be perfectly fine with that. I mean, previously to this season, he wasn't out for, I guess, a large chunk of time. So hopefully this isn't something that we can expect long term from Mitch. But to get into the game, and we've got some injuries to announce, or at least the injury report players that won't be in. So Mitch, as reported or as we discussed, is going to be out with the foot. Kemba Walker, he'll be out due to rest. I think Tibbs at the beginning of the preseason said he was going to rotate starters to give them some time off. Nerlens Noel, for the most part, is getting 3 games. Julius Randle was off the last game for the birth of his child. Congratulations to him. And now it's going to be Kemba Walker's turn. Yeah. So Kemba's out, gonna rest up that knee. I like this approach. We don't need these guys going out and getting a bunch of minutes in preseason. As long as they're getting the opportunity to play together, learn what some of these guys like out there on the court, their spots where they want the ball, that's perfectly fine. Because we have young guards already that we can see go out there and perform in both McBride and Grimes. So with Kemba out, I expect to see those two get some minutes.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, and who knows? Maybe we'll see a little bit more Knox.
Could potentially. I mean, he definitely made an argument for more minutes. Definitely made an argument with his performance.
Yeah, let's see if he can build off that, or if he's going to go back to 5 points a game.
Yeah. And Lex the Destroyer saying, give Mitch Nerlens money.
You know what? That's feasible. I'll do that. Like, that's it. Ain't a dollar more.
Nerlens money isn't too far from Robert Williams money. They might be off a year or two annually. But speaking of Nerlens, his injury is kind of getting a little weird. We're getting conflicting reports because one, you're hearing from the team that it's a knee, but then when you talk to Nerlens Noel, he's saying it's a hamstring. So who's going to provide some kind of clarity on this issue?
Honestly, I would just listen to Nerlens because it's his body. It's like he knows what's wrong with him. So if he's saying, listen, I know it's my hamstring, then it's his hamstring. But if like, because the Knicks, we don't know with them. They never really explain exactly what. Like, we still don't know if Mitch has a Jones fracture or not. Like,
well, I think for the most part, it's like one of those things that's better left unsaid. They don't. I guess that's like a boogeyman word. It's a little spooky around the industry when it comes to big men. So I don't think they want to harp on that. So they'll just say it was a foot fracture.
Exactly, but I'm like that. They're not gonna say the truth.
So. Yeah, but usually anytime you hear a surgery with that kind of fracture with the 5th metatarsal, for the most part, it's a Jones fracture, especially when you're talking about an athlete.
Who do you think you are, 5th metatarsal? Like, you see this guy?
Hey, quit acting like I'm not an X-ray tech. Just because I don't use my medical terminology when I'm out, chilling, don't mean I don't know what I'm saying.
Check out Sports Vibes. He's about to have his own medical page now.
I hear you on that one. I wouldn't be adverse to it. Just got to let everybody know this is for entertainment purposes, and I am not a doctor, so don't sue me. Don't try any of these methods at home. Like that disclaimer. Salute to for the love of the game. Salute. That's Hector and them. Definitely check them out. They do some solid streams over there. But yeah, I don't know. And then even with the Knicks and Nerlens Noel, before they started, they said it was rest. Then the rest upgraded to a knee, and then now we've got Nerlens Noel throwing a curveball, saying it's a hamstring. Hopefully he figures it out, because I don't want to start the season without Mitch and Nerlens. I know, yes, Taj Gibson has been solid throughout the preseason so far, and Sims has been pretty good as well, seeing that he was a late second-round pick. But I would still like to start the game against a division rival in the Celtics. I mean, start the season against a division rival Celtics fully loaded with all my guns.
I 100% agree. I mean, I hope Noel can come back, man.
I don't understand how you want you're more for Nerlens Noel hurrying up and coming back as opposed to Mitch. When I think our ceiling is a lot higher with Mitch as our starter than it is our ceiling is a lot higher with Mitch in the rotation as opposed to with just Nerlens Noel in the rotation.
I feel like our game is much more consistent when Nerlens is there. Because one, with Nerlens, like he doesn't have that injury problem. Like it's not like
What?
he's
Stop it. Nerlens is in and out the lineup too.
not nowhere near as much as Mitch. Whereas like if Mitch comes
It
back
hasn't been as serious,
and he
but
starts killing for like the first 10, 15 games and then he gets hurt again, like we're immediately dysfunction. Whereas with Noel, was like he can come back in and we don't got to really worry about that. He might miss one game or two periodically, but it's not enough to throw everything off the way, So I just feel like, and plus, like he had an interview where he said he got the green light to hit threes. So I want to see him hit threes. Like I want to see it, man.
see, Marshall says I'm essential. Yep, I'm essential. That's pretty much what they use throughout the pandemic to say you got to go to work. Pretty much, you can't use any vacation time, can't use any PTO, nothing.
Nothing. Everything's blacked out.
Worldwide L is saying hit them likes. Definitely. We have 16 likes. Make sure you guys are smashing that like. It definitely helps the channel. Appreciate your support. We're leading into the game right now. It's about 7:16. We'll be on for about another 10-15 minutes and then hop off, let you guys watch the game. So Inf, just to get into the actual preseason game a little bit more, going up against the Pistons. If you look at what we've been doing so far throughout the preseason, Knicks have been on fire. We've been running on all cylinders. As you can see, Tibbs is making sure that these guys are treating every game like it matters. We're not going out there and giving up any inch. I think the Knicks are going to be one of those teams that starts the season off with us firing on all cylinders. And I think that's going to bode well because later on in the season, we're going to have some tough stretches of basketball games. So I think if we're able to pick up as many games as we can to start the season, while these other teams that have added new players are trying to get acclimated, I think that would be, ideal for us. That would be an ideal scenario.
I mean, listen, I feel what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But as far as like the tough stretches go, I'm not too concerned because I feel like we are now that team that other teams see like, damn, we got to play the Nets and then we got to play the Knicks and then we got to play Boston right after. Like, the Knicks are that team that people are now worried about because they know that it's not going to be an easy win in any way. So I'm not too worried. Like we are a legitimate good team. So we out here. But no,
and
definitely destroy the Pistons.
Yeah, it seems like we're firing on all cylinders, and it's the exact opposite for the Pistons. As you can see, they rank towards the bottom of the league in most of the statistics so far throughout preseason, and they're also dealing with a lot of injuries as well. I think Killian Hayes dealing with a concussion. Cade Cunningham, their number one pick, he's out as well. So we're gonna have to focus on Jeremy Grant. But if is there anything specific you're looking out for this team when we go out there and play? Anything offensively or defensively? I know I wanted to see us to continue to move the ball. I think our ball movement has been phenomenal throughout the first two games. I think in the first game, shots weren't dropping as much as we would have liked, but in the second game, we were on fire. Shot over 44%, both from the field and three. So I would like to see us carry that kind of production into this game because I don't think the Pistons really have the firepower to hang with us.
No, I definitely agree with that. And I'm interested to see what our floor spacing is going to look like without having Kemba playing. Because Kemba is one of the first guards outside of Emmanuel Quickly that when he's on the court, like that's immediately spacing the floor. So being that we're not going to have him tonight and our spacing has clearly been improved since we're shooting almost 40% from three, I want to see what adjustments we're going to make. Does that mean that Quickly steps up and gets more minutes? I don't know, but that's what I'm going to be interested to see, how we adjust to not having Kemba, since there is a possibility that throughout the season he might have certain rest days.
Yeah, I want to see who's the first option when it comes to running the second unit. Who is he going to replace Derrick Rose? Because I would assume Derrick Rose. They probably released the starters, but I haven't checked while we've been on. If they're going to elevate Derrick Rose to the starting point guard position, are we going to see a lot more of McBride? If we are, I would like to see how he looks working out there in tandem with Emmanuel Quickly. We saw a lot of it in summer league. So now if we're able to see that in preseason, see how he's able to respond playing against, NBA talent. The thing about summer league is a lot of those people are fighting to be in the NBA or get an invite to camp. And the players that McBride will be going up against with the second unit, those are going to be guys that are actually in NBA rotation. So to see him go out there, see how he's going to look, I think that'll be something that I really want to keep my eyes on.
No, that's fair. The only concern again is minutes. Hopefully he gets them.
Yeah, but without for the most part, I think the guys are Kemba and D Rose have been getting right around 20, 21 minutes per game. So that'll be a large chunk of minutes that Tibbs could divvy up to McBride, and we just have to hope he decides to do it. It'll be interesting. Tibbs rotations are always something I like to keep my eye on.
Yeah, I mean, because the only reason why those players haven't been playing as much minutes is because we've been blowing teams out by like 30. So we'll see. Like if
even up 20, Tibbs got RJ and D Rose out there.
yeah, Tibbs need to get it together. This is preseason.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So another thing that I'm going to be keeping my eye on when it comes to the Pistons and this game tonight is the fact that the Pistons are terrible in the paint. Terrible. Oh, let me get that correct. They're terrible when it comes to rebounding, but they have been scoring a majority of their points in the paint. As you can see, they're fourth in the league, averaging about 55 points in the paint. And when it comes to the Knicks, that's not necessarily our area of expertise. I mean, we're towards the bottom of the league so far in preseason when it comes to finishing our shots within 5 feet of the rim, something that coming into this season, I wanted to see the Knicks get better at. So far this this preseason, we haven't seen that. But luckily, we've seen an increase in volume of threes. So if we can continue shooting a lot more threes, dominate the paint, because the Knicks should have opportunities for second chance points. If Mitchell was in the game, he would have been feasting on offensive rebounds, because the Pistons really have shown very little resistance to trying to lock down the paint and secure rebounds. So if we would have had Mitch, it would have been nice. Nerlens Noel isn't as great a rebounder, but with Taj out there, I want to see if Taj is able to be dominant, finish around the paint, finish around the rim. He's been looking like a blast from the past when it comes to him being able to use some of his low post moves to get position and score. So if we can see some more of that, that'll be nice. But I want to see us continue to move the ball. And if we do get those second chance opportunities, finish at the rim or kick it out for some open looks from three.
I mean, that's the only way we're going to win. You said it perfectly, man. That's it.
That's not the only way, but hopefully that is the way. So then I can make a video tomorrow and say, hey, I called it.
Listen, man, I only wish that Mitch was playing this game just to see what impact he would have. Because
this would definitely be a game where he could wild out.
Yeah, and like if he was playing and he didn't wild out, then listen, I'd be chatting the next live. I better hope Mitch don't have a bad game whenever he do play, because guarantee the next live I'm going off.
Yeah.
On the bright side, hopefully we get to see a lot more of Sims today then.
Yeah, well, we should with Noel out, with no Mitch. Sims is going to be the big off the bench. So we'll definitely see more. What happened?
Anodi 25. He said Inf is trying to re-injure Mitch.
Try to give Inf bad juju. I mean, give Mitch bad juju. No way. Mitch is going to come back healthy. He's going to perform to the level of a quality center, quality big, and we're going to give him a solid contract. And he's going to be our center of the future. I think that's dope. And if anything, we need to move on from somebody. We can move on from Nerlens Noel, who has a relatively tradable contract, and then we have Sims in the wing. So imagine we have our center rotation as being Mitch, Sims, and then Taj has one more year, so he could be the mentor. He could teach those guys some of that footwork.
Listen, man, we'll see, because maybe none of this will matter by next season because Mitch will be on a different team. Like, who knows?
They want to know, dang, and what Mitch do to you?
All he's done to me is let me down constantly, man. Anytime we need this man, he is not there.
That sounds like me sometimes that I'm talking about Knox. Because beginning of last season, I was really on the Knox train. I was saying, hey, Knox has the ability to put the ball on the floor sometimes. He can play make here and there, which we saw. He had a beautiful find for Sims in the other game. And he can shoot, knock down a three. We saw that as well. But he just hasn't been able to put it all together. And I think with what Tibbs wants out of him, he's not really able to provide out there on the court. But hopefully this season he's able to get it together, snatch some minutes from Burks, even though I don't think that's too likely. But it's one step at a time, one game at a time. So now he might have the opportunity to get some more minutes, and let's see if he can have a similar performance to what he had the other in our last game.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right, and so let's wrap it up here, so I can get ready for the game. Give me some chips or something, chips and dip,
and some burrs.
You already know, some Ronas. All right, chat. Thank you guys for tuning into this pregame show. Make sure you're subscribed. Also, make sure you smash that like button on the way out. We have 107 in the chat right now, but we only went up to 28. Let's see if we can get that number up. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. I'm Quis. That's my co-host Inf, and we're out.